Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about Kesari Chapter 2. On April 13th, 1919, in the walled garden of Jallianwala Bagh, over 1,600 men, women, and children were brutally gunned down by British soldiers under the command of General Dyer. No warnings, no mercy, no escape. It was one of the darkest and most shameful chapters in colonial history, an act of mass murder that shook the souls of an entire nation. Over a century later, Kesari Chapter 2 brings that history and its aftermath to life in a powerful courtroom drama with layered characters and an unapologetic critique of British imperialism. Quick heads up, this review may contain occasional minor spoilers as I talk about this historical event. Sorry, not sorry. The film opens with a harrowing recreation of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. By 5 p.m., an airplane flies overhead as protesters gather in the square. When General Dyer's troops march in and gunfire cuts the crowd down, Baghat is crushed beneath bodies, blood splatters, and the audio drops to a haunting silence before cutting to black. It's a brutal Modern Warfare 2 No Russian-styled sequence that kicks things off with a visceral impact. From there, we're introduced to Sankaran Nair, the colonial government's favorite Indian lawyer, tasked with defending the crown in court against Kripal Singh. Nair is sharp, charismatic, and deeply committed to the legal system, preaching there is no right or wrong in court, just winners and losers. He's not a British sellout because he genuinely believes what he preaches. He's one of those life's not fair, but if you work hard, you can move up in the ranks kind of guys, and for a while, that mindset serves him well. He's knighted by the British crown, and he dines with elites. He's not a villain, he's just comfortable. He's the type of person colonial systems reward for being intelligent, obedient, and articulate. As part of the Viceroy Council, when he's assigned to defend Dyer and the crown, he starts to notice the contrast between his privilege and the suffering of the Indian people. He starts to realize that the cost of comfort is disconnection and that there is no justice within the British courts. This eventually sways him to sue the crown for genocide with support from Dilpreet Gill, and I love this turn. The legal drama fully leans into the courtroom setting. Bribery, extortion, blackmail, and even murder were used to cover up the full extent of Dyer's conspiracy. We get cross-examination, surprise witnesses, withheld evidence, and climactic speeches. It gives space for debate, nuance, and ethical introspection. There's also an investigative edge to the film that I found satisfying and morally empowering. Seeing Nair and Gill dismantle a false rape accusation supported their investigative skills while showing the corruption of the courts. One of my favorite aspects of the film is how it uses plot twists like Nair's disbarment trial as clever ways to reopen the case and expose jury manipulation. The twists in this film feel earned because the groundwork was meticulously laid. Even though Nair's speech didn't fully resonate with me, it's still a powerful speech. It's an emotional release for everything the film's built up to. At its core, this movie is about betrayal, not just by General Dyer, but by the entire British Empire. Indians were promised freedom for fighting in World War I. They fulfilled their end with over 1.5 million soldiers enlisting, but the British reneged. The massacre at Jallianwala Bagh wasn't just an act of cruelty, it was the culmination of a lie. This theme resonates deeply because it shows how colonial powers gaslit, used media censorship and legal loopholes to maintain control over occupied countries. Beyond betrayal, this film is about who gets to speak and who is silenced. From newspaper burnings to forced confessions to the manipulation of the press access in court, this is about a system designed to erase truth. Nair's transformation from court is only about winners and losers to truth must prevail is one of the most powerful arcs in the film. It echoes real-life struggles where victims are painted as aggressors and justice is rebranded as rebellion. I also appreciate that this film briefly highlighted the unity of Hindus and Muslims during the protests leading up to the massacre. Both followers celebrated Ramadan, and their solidarity threatened the British government more than any violence ever could. I think this subtext is powerful and relevant because it shows that true revolution is not just about arms. It's about unity, harmony, and shared identity. There's a reason the British use divide and rule tactics, and there's a reason modern politics continue to use those same division strategies to keep us divided. This movie doesn't tiptoe around its emotions or its message. Whether it's grief, the righteous fury of Gill, or the shaken resolve of Nair, everything is heightened. From the haunting score to the rage-filled monologues, it's unapologetic in its storytelling. This could have been a self-indulgent or melodramatic movie, but it isn't. The tone fits the gravity of the situation, grounded in pain, memory, and truth. The cast of this film is significantly smaller than in Kesari, and that works to its favor. Akshay returns as the lead and gives a mature, restrained performance with moral ambiguity. He's not immediately heroic, which makes his character arc satisfying as he reclaims his identity. Ananya portrays Dilpreet Gill, a young, idealistic student who takes up the case against the British. She is nervous, but also graceful and confident. Her cross-examination is one of the strongest scenes in the film, and it's handled with precision and empathy. Her chemistry with Akshay is paternal and respectful. She's a moral anchor and reminds both Nair and the audience why this case matters. I saw some conflicting things online, but I believe Gill is inspired by India's first female lawyer, Cornelia Sarabji. Depending on how you look at it, one of the downsides of the dramatization of this historical event is that some characters are made up for the movie. I think it slightly lessens the emotional stakes, but on the other hand, it helps tell the story in a more compelling way. Neville McKinley is another fictional character played by rmadhavan. He's He's an Anglo-Indian lawyer who is equal parts charismatic and cold. He brings gravitas and I'd even say danger to every scene he's in. His personal vendetta against Nair adds depth to his character, and his courtroom strategy is brilliant. He is a reflection of what Nair could have become had he stayed silent, and their back and forths are one of the film's highlights. Simon Paisley Day portrays General Reginald Dyer, and he is chilling in his eerie calmness and smug cruelty. He is not cartoonishly evil. He is a man who genuinely believes in racial superiority, and it's terrifying how unfazed he is by his actions. No joke, he feels like a British Hitler with his unhinged demeanor. And finally, Krish Rao as Bhagat Singh is the emotional soul of the film. He experiences one of the most traumatic sequences in modern Indian cinema. He never gets justice, but his passion passes to Dilpreet Gill and fuels Nair's transformation. Rao's restrained but powerful performance gives him the dignity and emotional weight he deserves. All other supporting characters, from nationalists to loyalists, moderates to radicals, help showcase a spectrum of ideologies and make the courtroom a battleground of ideas. I have no complaints about the cast or their acting. I think the cinematography in this film is good. It feels very grounded compared to Kesari. I appreciated the natural lighting and muted colors. I enjoyed the period accuracy and the full-scale replica of Jallianwala Bagh. I appreciated the use of real historical buildings like the Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee, and the Red Fort because they add authenticity to the film. I think the props and costumes were equally good. They matched the colonial opulence and traditional Hindu culture. Lastly, just like in the first film, the soundtrack was great. I enjoyed the musical motif that played during courtroom victories, emotional breakdowns, and the final montage. It's a lion-themed anthem that clashes with your emotions, making you feel the conflict between public spectacle and private grief. I enjoyed the original songs in the film, like Oshira, Keith Gaya to Sayan, and Drawn to Fire. The soundtrack avoids melodrama by using poetic lyrics and emotionally grounded vocals that don't overpower the film's heavy moments. The soundtrack deepens the stakes, amplifies character arcs, and serves as an emotional release. Together, all these elements made Kesari Chapter 2 a fantastic film, deeper than words alone. Kesari Chapter 2 takes one of the darkest moments in colonial history and reframes it through the lens of justice, identity, and resistance. It's a film that balances tragedy with triumph, memory with momentum. While some of its characters are fictionalized and the dramatization might stretch the truth in some places, the heart of the story remains deeply rooted in real pain and real courage. With strong performances, immersive production, a powerful score, and a courtroom drama that refuses to look away, the film reminds us that history doesn't stay buried. It speaks through those brave enough to listen. Whether you're drawn to the politics, the performances, or just want to learn more about the aftermath of Jallianwala Bagh, this is a film that deserves your attention. It may not hit the same emotional highs for me as Kesari, but it absolutely stands on its own, and in many ways, it roars even louder. Thank you for listening to my review of Kesari Chapter 2. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the content, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast, Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego, and I will see you next time.